When people imagine dying at sea, they usually picture sharks or towering waves smashing a boat apart. But survivors who have drifted alone in the open ocean tell a very different story. The real killer at sea arrives quietly, and it usually begins within the first 48 hours. Not with teeth, not with storms, but with thirst. When a person first ends up in open water, adrenaline takes over. The body floods with stress hormones. The mind becomes hyper-focused on survival. People paddle. They shout. They search the horizon desperately for ships or land. During these first hours, the brain still believes rescue is coming. Hope keeps the body moving. But the ocean does not care about hope. By the end of the first day, dehydration begins to take hold. Salt air strips moisture from the body. The sun reflects off the water like a mirror, doubling its intensity. Sweat evaporates quickly in the constant wind. And without drinking water, the body begins shutting down. The tongue dries first. Then headaches begin. Muscles cramp. Thinking becomes slower. Small mistakes start happening. People forget basic survival steps. They waste precious energy. But dehydration is only part of the danger. The ocean introduces something far more dangerous on the second night: silence. When darkness falls over the open sea, the world becomes impossibly large. There are no city lights, no buildings, no roads, only endless black water stretching in every direction. This is the moment many survivors describe as the breaking point. The human mind is not built for absolute isolation. In the darkness, the brain begins searching desperately for patterns. Every splash becomes a threat. Every shadow becomes a shark. Waves tapping the side of a raft sound like something alive. The imagination fills the emptiness with fear. Some survivors report hearing voices. Others see shapes in the water that aren't there. The brain, desperate for stimulation, begins to create its own reality, and panic follows quickly after. Panic wastes energy. It accelerates dehydration, and it destroys the careful decisions needed for survival. Many perish at sea do not die because of storms. They die because the mind collapses before the body does. This psychological breakdown has been documented in shipwrecks for centuries. From the survivors of the Titanic to sailors drifting in modern lifeboats, the same pattern repeats again and again. First comes the adrenaline, then the thirst, then the silence, and finally the slow erosion of the mind. But some people survive, and the difference often comes down to preparation and discipline. Survivors who live through long ocean drift situations follow a few critical rules. They protect themselves from the sun. They ration energy. They remain calm. And most importantly, they never allow panic to take control. Because once the mind collapses, survival becomes almost impossible. The ocean is not always violent. Sometimes it is calm. Sometimes it is quiet. And sometimes that silence is the most dangerous thing of all. Because the ocean rarely kills quickly. Instead, it waits. At first light, the vast expanse of water shimmers under the sun's gentle rays. A deceptive tranquility that lulls those who remain afloat into a false sense of security. Yet, beneath this calm surface, lies an insidious threat. One that creeps upon the weary mind and body like the tide, subtle yet relentless. Survivor accounts echo this reality. They often wake up to a dawning realization that survival is not merely a physical challenge but a mental one, where every hour stretches into an eternity. In the solitude of the sea, the human spirit is tested beyond its limits, inviting thoughts of despair that tug at the edges of hope. As the sun climbs higher, the heat becomes unforgiving, sapping energy from those adrift. The thirst intensifies, gnawing at their resolve, and the salty air mocks their desperation, amplifying the longing for fresh water. Every wave that passes feels heavier, a reminder of the reality they face, each moment stretching thinly with the weight of uncertainty. In this vast solitude, their minds begin to wander, conjuring memories of cool springs and clear lakes, visions tinged with nostalgia and frustration. Time becomes a blur, with each tick of the clock marked by the worsening state of both mind and body. As the day wanes, shadows stretch across the water, signaling the arrival of night. With the sun's retreat, the familiar light grows dim, and the calmness transforms into an eerie stillness. Survivors often recount how this twilight moment feels like a betrayal. The world they once navigated is swallowed by darkness. Every creak of the life raft, every ripple, pulls at their fraying sanity, amplifying the silence that now envelops them. The relentless thirst is compounded by an overwhelming sense of isolation, causing their hearts to race with unshakable fear. In that moment of despair, doubt and dread intertwine, threatening to tear apart the fleeting hope that remains. Amidst the looming darkness, even the bravest hearts falter as irrational fears take root. The sounds of the ocean, once familiar, grow foreign and menacing, transforming gentle, lapping into whispers of doom. Imagined entities emerge from the depths, each shadow morphing into relentless predators circling prey. Survivors cling to the fragile threads of reality, hoping fiercely for dawn. Yet night drags on. Amidst this chaos, small distractions become lifelines. A distant star, an errant wave, or the cold kiss of the ocean wind. Each moment offers a glimmer of solace, a reminder that they are still alive, fighting against a backdrop of vast insignificance. Such fragile hope can ignite the will to survive, pushing back against the tide of despair. They breathe in the saltiness of the air, reminding themselves of their humanity, a warmth rising within amid encroaching coldness. As fatigue and darkness close in, the primal urge to cling to life takes precedence over fear, transforming dread into a tenacious determination to endure until dawn's light breaks through the darkness. The ocean may be a cruel mistress, yet, within its depths, lies an unyielding spirit of resilience, guiding those lost back toward the light. As the hours stretch on, the mind becomes a battleground, fracturing under the weight of relentless solitude. Each night brings a new layer of psychological torment, where echoes of imagined threats echo louder than the rhythmic sound of the waves. Survivors often clutch at their fading sanity, frantically grappling with reality as their memories and fears intertwine. The ocean's cold embrace becomes a stark reminder of their vulnerability, a truth that instills a desperate need for connection, however fleeting. The ocean lies waiting, a silent predator, as the dawn slowly breaks over the horizon. Survivors emerge from the clutches of night, navigating the fog of exhaustion and fear, clinging fiercely to life. They understand now that survival does not solely depend on the body, but also on the mind's will to endure. Armed with newfound resolve, they gaze at the brightening sky, ready to face whatever challenges lie ahead.